Hey, 6th grade. Sorry I couldn't be there today. I'm probably actually at home in my bed dying right now. I'm sure you saw from the video, or you could guess from the video that Miss St. John just played. We're going to do some story time with Miss Harden. The video that she just showed you was Patrick falling on a banana peel. Well, that actually happened in real life. 2 days ago, I had the lovely pleasure of being on first grade lunch duty at my other school, and this lovely first grader wanted to see what it would be like if he threw a banana peel at me and see what would happen if someone fell on it. And I did indeed fall on it, and I also broke my wrist when I fell. So, I'm in a lot of pain right now, but I'm on the road to recovery, and I guess I'll keep coming back to work even though first graders frustrate me sometimes. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about next week and what's happening next week. Next Thursday, I'm going to bring somebody in to talk to you guys. In the beginning of the year, I mentioned that I really wanted you guys to be able to talk to a sound engineer or a studio engineer. That's the person that does all of the mixes, so to speak, for artists and such. So we're going to talk about that today. Next week, next Thursday, basically, you're going to be brought down to the cafeteria, and you're going to listen to one of my buddies speak for 35 minutes who has a humongous soundboard, and he does this as a side gig sort of deal. And he's going to talk about all kinds of effects that you can use in the studio. His name is Gabe Steelman, and he'll be here to talk to you next Thursday. I'm pretty excited. But I did want to give you some background knowledge before he comes and talks to you and throws terms at you that you've never heard before. So, at this point, you should probably hit pause and play that Quaver video. Okay, so you just watched the Quaver video, and the Quaver video kind of explained how studio magic works, how each little knob, so to speak, on a soundboard has a different effect, right? So we're going to talk about some of those today, but I really want to lay down what it's like. What's the difference, I guess? What's the difference between a mixed track and a non-mixed track? In the video, they said something about dead space, okay? Dead space is something that's incredibly important to recording in any space, okay? You want to limit background noise as much as you can, otherwise microphones that you're using are super, super, super sensitive, and they pick up everything around them. So, for example, you're going to hear later on my band playing, and the track that I'm going to play for you guys, it took us, I think, 14-something tries to get this one down because we had so much outside noise come in. It was recorded in a home studio, and even though he had signs on the door saying, hey, we're recording, please be quiet, hey, don't knock, we're recording, we had all kinds of stuff. We would hear like the pitter-patter of rain. I know it's a great sound effect, right? We would hear knocking, because people can't read, apparently. Hear doorbells, ding-dong. Again, people can't read. We would hear cars driving by, engines roaring, planes flying overhead. It's just really hard to limit outside noise sometimes, so that's why if you do record stuff, you're going to find it difficult to limit everybody else, essentially. So here we are in the recording studio, in his home studio, and the first step in all of this is to record each individual part. So you want to lay down your rhythm tracks first. So that's going to be your drums, your bass guitar, your rhythm guitar, that kind of thing. You want to lay those down first so that everyone else has a tempo to set to. In our case, in my band's case, we had our lead singer sing at a very low level monotone so that everyone could keep the same beat. And then we had our drummer record separately from everybody else. We had bass and lead guitar, or bass and rhythm guitar, sorry, record at one time. And then we had some extra effect afterwards. And then I recorded separately with saxophone. And then the vocals record over top of everything else. You get as many takes as you want until you're happy with it. And then it's up to the sound engineer to mix everything together. So right here, you're going to pause this video and you're going to listen to Bohemian Rhapsody. We're going to listen to a clip of that together, unmixed. So this is what we call a raw track. And I'm sorry I can't find anything more current. Artists typically don't release their raw track until much later. So we're going to listen to a Queen track, Bohemian Rhapsody. This is the same guy that wrote We Will Rock You, in case you were wondering. Listen to that track, and I really want you to pay attention to how ugly it sounds and how off each instrument is from one another. Listen for details. Don't just sit there and go, okay? And we'll come back in a second. Okay, so you just listened to Bohemian Rhapsody, the unmixed track. This is one of my favorite songs, by the way, but did you sort of notice how things weren't quite together? Some things didn't line up, or you could barely hear the vocals, or stuff was playing over top of Queen singing. Whatever. It just doesn't sound nice until you mix everything together, and you have to get the timing exactly correct too. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna pull up a screen and they're gonna drag stuff out into like super slow motion so that they can line timing up exactly. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to listen to clips of the real Bohemian Rhapsody, the mixed version, the released version, and you can watch the music video. Music video is kind of out there. Don't ask me why. And that was a thing for 70s rock. So yeah. Alright, so you listen to both. I really want you to think about comparing and contrasting the two, because that's what a studio engineer does. That's the responsibility of the studio engineer. I, myself, can only do the part of a musician. That's it. Like, all I can do is play. I cannot mix while I'm playing. So, sound engineers are super important, and a lot of times they don't get enough credit. Psst, royalties. So, basically, the sound engineer lines everything up, mixes things. When I say mix, I'm talking like you want the vocals to be more present, so we're going to bring the volume up on that. You want the instrumentation to be less, so we're going to put that under there. I do have a quick story about this one. There's a meme out there, and if I can find the link, then Miss St. John will show it to you. The meme basically says that if you're in the car with somebody and Bohemian Rhapsody comes on and they don't attempt to sing in all of the different voices that you heard, then you really can't be friends. And I take this meme very seriously. I love this song. You can catch me in my car when this song comes on being ridiculous. And my best friend and I actually bonded over this song. I kid you not. When she first got our driver's license, this song came on and we were belting it. And especially at the end where it's like, let me go, no, oh, mamma mia, let me go. Yes, I know you enjoyed my singing, it was great. So did the guy next to us, as we're like dramatically flailing arms and dramatically singing and attempting every single voice. We had our windows down, it was the middle of summer, and the guy next to us kind of looks at us and goes, are you okay? So, yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody in a nutshell. Okay, so I want to share with you another track, just so you get a varying degree. So Queen is like your pop level, making money off of this music, top-notch sound engineer quality, like someone who does this full time. Someone who has no other job, is not a teacher, is not a musician, like their entire responsibility in life is to mix tracks, versus somebody who was our guitar player, and this was a side gig for us. Most of us were teachers or waiters or whatever. I was part of a band called For Balter, and we recorded this track called Healer. Again, earlier in the video I mentioned it took us about 14, 15 tries to record this and about 2 weeks to mix it because we had just a lot of issues with it. But fun fact about this song, the song itself was our first single, I guess, or one of our first singles, but in Bowling Green, Kentucky, where I went to school, there's not a lot to do. And one of the major events of the year that they have, or they host, is called Concert in the Parks. Well, Concert in the Parks is insanely hard to get into. You can apply for it online, but it is very difficult to get into because it tends to draw a large crowd. So the only way they make money is if people show up, essentially. So we've been playing together for 6 months, and I happened to be the manager at the time. I was running social media, trying to book shows, etc., etc. I, on the off chance, thought maybe I should apply for it. Didn't think that we were going to get it, but decided to anyway. And this is the song that I submitted to them. And the owner of Concert in the Parks, sponsored by BB&T Bank, calls me on the phone and says, "Hey, I got your track, and I just want you to know that I've seen you guys play out a lot. I really respect your band. I respect your style. We would actually really love to have you come perform for a Concert in the Parks. We'd like to have you guys open the concert series." So it's a 10-week series, and we got to open, which is like, oh my gosh, dead cool. One of the happiest moments of my life. You can imagine my excitement. But also, this is a huge deal, man. So we do a pre-show interview. We're talking about it. And all of a sudden, we hear the announcer come over the microphone introducing us the day of the show and says that approximately 7,000 people were in attendance. Yes, I said that right. 7,000 people. Now, for a musician, like, I'm used to performing in front of people, so this is the coolest thing that could have happened to me, because we're playing original music. We're not playing a whole lot of covers. This is something that we're really proud of in front of 7,000 people, but also as a musician, this is terrifying because I have no idea how they're going to respond. I've never seen, like, 3/4 of these people in my life. So, anyways, we get to the show day, and we get on stage, we start performing, and 7,000 people are cheering us on, and we get to one of the songs that I have a saxophone solo in it. And crazy as it sounds, I ripped the saxophone solo out. I was just in the moment. I wasn't thinking about the fact that there were 7,000 people, because that's terrifying. I just ripped this solo out, and all of a sudden I stopped playing. I finished my solo, and people are screaming, "Yeah! Go short stuff, you got it! Yeah, that saxophone player killed it! Yeah! Woo!" 7,000 people were cheering for me, and that is insane. That is hands down the best moment I've ever had in my life. I just can't even explain how crazy it is to have 7,000 people play for it. So, pause the video, play the track. Alright, so you just listened to Healer. That's pretty much all I have for you today. I really wanted you to understand the difference between a non-mixed track and a mixed track and what a sound engineer does. Gabe Steelman is going to talk to you more about this and talk about all the different effects. If you guys have some extra time, then Miss St. John will walk you through the different effects on the Quaver screen. If not, I'll see you guys next week.